Hello, everybody. Come on in the house. Come on in the house, you guys. I hope you guys are having a great day. Come on in the house today. Welcome to Love Coach Sessions Live. I'm your host, KTJ, and this is Love Coach Sessions Live. We took a little break, but we are back, and we're back in the house making good content about dating, relationships, love, making up, breaking up, having a successful life. That's what it's all about. Listen, we talk all about dating and relationships and all that stuff, but you know what? At the end of the day, what I run is a personal development business, right? Because this is really about you. It's not about finding a man. It's not about finding a woman. It's not even about finding the one, even though I have a program called Finding the One. It's not even about finding the one. All of my activity is only about one thing, and that's you finding you and finding the best situation for you and your life. Something that you can live with, somebody that you can love, but the love has to start with you. If the love doesn't start with you, then there's no point. There's nothing happening and nothing going forward. So, you guys, welcome to the show. Today we got a good show. We're talking about the most important, the most powerful thing Kevin Samuels talked about in his viral video that many people missed. Now, you guys know the video. The video went viral. We talked about it on a couple of different shows where he told the woman that she was going to die alone because of her expectations and her view of what is, what's possible for her. Her view is a little skewed. Okay. She wanted a six-figure man, and she had this desire and these thoughts of grandeur that, hey, because I'm this, then I deserve that. And, who am I to say what a person does deserve? Hey, Stephanie, thank you so much for popping back in. Yes, glad to be back. Like, who am I to say what a person deserves, right? But I can tell you that, we talked about this before, that, six-figure men, seven-figure men are busy and they require a certain kind of woman. Now, a lot of women would say that you fit the, I'd love to have a six-figure man. I can love to have a seven-figure man. I'd love to have the guy that Kevin Samuels was talking about, right? But I can tell you this, not everybody can live with that guy, right? Because the guy who's out there killing it, the way that he's able to be out there killing it is he's out there killing it. He's the way that he can afford the lifestyle that seems attractive is he's going to be gone. His focus is going to be on what it is, and until he gets things to a certain point, that's what it is. And so all women can't handle a man who has to get up early and stay at the business late. Every woman can't handle a man who's got to be in Hong Kong for 2 weeks and then in Australia for 3 weeks. Like, now somebody might say, well, that's not all 6 and 7 figure men. Well, no, it is not all, right? But that's why there's not that many of them. There's not that many of them, and the ones who that do exist, they know that their time is their greatest asset, and losing their time and not investing their time well is the least thing they want to do. So they're going to try and find the kind of woman that's going to fit into their life. I just put up a post today on Facebook talking about instead of trying to make a relationship work, maybe you might want to consider just finding a relationship that works. Because sometimes you could be trying to put a square peg in a round hole and it just doesn't work. Okay, it just doesn't work. So the thing that I noticed, you guys, about that talk that I felt got missed by most people is almost at the very end. Almost at the very end, the guy said, something that I'm telling you ladies out there, he says, y'all need to go to therapy. Y'all need to go to therapy, right? And when he said that, the lady was like, oh, so you're mean. That's when she said he's mean. Right after he said, y'all need to go to therapy. And, to me, somebody coming from the social work, therapeutic environment, I understand the power of therapy, and I understand why he said she needs to go to therapy. And for her, it was a slight. Oh, you're mean. That was like the cherry at the top that she just couldn't take anymore. That was the straw that broke the camel's back when she said, you're mean. When he said, you need to go to therapy. And to me, it was the most powerful statement of all, right? Because sometimes people have a thought about a thing, but they don't, that thought doesn't match who they are, right? Because where are we getting our thoughts from? We're getting influenced by Instagram. We're getting influenced by, all the other social media pictures and video and all of the other content that comes into our eyes and into our spirit, right? We get influenced by all that other stuff. So we start thinking, well, maybe we should be X, Y, Z. Maybe we should be this. Maybe we should be that, right? But I think that the more that a person works on themselves, and this lady particularly could benefit from therapy, given her answer of where her self-esteem and how she rates herself, right? It was all missed when he said, y'all ladies need to go to therapy, right? Now, I'm going to say men need to go to therapy as well, because men have a lot of healing to do, right? I talk all the time about this case that I used to have when I was doing social work, and I had a case with a guy who he come out of the foster care system, and he's never been loved. He reported to me that he'd never been loved. Now, I've worked with other young men who were in foster care. I remember working with one young man who I was sent to his house to work with him, doing in-home therapy, to work with him to keep the bond and keep him at the foster home that they made him their son. He was no longer in foster care. Now he was adopted and he was their son, but they're ready to send him back because of the disconnect and the challenges that came with him being adopted, right? And he was 15, 16 years old. And so one of the things that I had to tell the parents, I said, listen, you're dealing with a young man who has been passed around. He's separated from his roots. He doesn't know really who he is and where he comes from. So therefore, he's going to have some challenges when it comes to bonding, right? Now, I haven't kept up with that young man, but I think he used to follow me on social media, right? But I can imagine that if that young man didn't go into therapy, if that man didn't get the attention that he needs on grounding himself on who he is, if he didn't do those things and take the steps he needed for wholeness, when it comes to a relationship, some woman is going to be thinking that he understands certain things that he does not understand. Now, this boy, he probably can say that he's been loved at his adopted mother's house. He took their last name and everything, right? He could probably say he's been loved, but but because of the trauma that he's been through in his former life, sometimes that stuff kicks back up on you in your later life, right? And he feels disconnected from people. So he could end up feeling disconnected from the woman in his life. He could feel disconnected from the people in his life. He could feel disconnected from his very own family, his daughters, his sons, right? And not really understand what's really going on. And so when Kevin said that that young lady, he says y'all women need to go to therapy. When he said that, for me, that was my yes. you know, because now most people just went right on past them, and they were all enthralled in the fact that how could he say those things? He was so mean, he was so hurtful. Well, it's his show, and she called his show knowing how he talks about this stuff, and he doesn't just talk about it against women. That's the only reason why it went viral, because he was against a woman. If he had when he talked about it against the guy, that one kind of got some attention. There's one he put out there that got attention, but most of it that won't get attention. The one he did against the woman, and it was on World Star Hip Hop. Okay, so all those factors made it go viral, but everybody missed that one point that I thought was one of the most powerful points, and that is people need to go to therapy to work out their issues and their self-worth frame that they present to the world. Maybe you could get a high quality man, right? But your frame has got to be right. And I'm not talking about your body frame. your frame of mind has to be right. And then you got to ask yourself, like Kevin said, what's wrong with a regular guy? You're a regular person. Why can't you be happy with a regular man? Why do you need a Superman, right? Because Supermen come with a lot of their own issues. They don't have time for you. They don't have sometimes resources to send your way. Sometimes all they got is resources, and so they can just write the check, and you never see them. Okay, so there's a lot that goes into it. Like, do you want to be what that guy needs? And that guy needs something special that a regular guy doesn't need. Okay, that guy might need you to be in the gym 5 days a week because he needs you to be able to look a certain way and be a certain way. Okay, some women are okay with that, and some women are not okay with that. And they're going to complain, well, how come I got to eat carrots? How come I got to eat carrots and celery and can't eat ribs and chicken and fried chicken and everything else, mashed potatoes every day? He said, no, because that's not how we do. That's not the woman that I need. Well, how come you can't? No, that's who he desires, and that's who he wants to have in his life. And so I believe that whoever you connect with, whoever you end up with, they need to get the best version of you possible. Did y'all hear me? Whoever you end up with, they need to get the best version of you possible. And if that means eating better, if that means exercising, if that means going to therapy, you need to be willing to do all those things for yourself, for yourself, so that you are the frame. You shouldn't have to try and start being something for somebody. Okay? Because that you can't keep that up. You can only keep that up for but so long, because it's like kind of like an act. You can only keep it up for so long. But if you are that person, you don't have to try and be that person. Okay? If you are solid, you don't have to try and play solid. If you keep yourself, if you have certain principles about yourself and values about yourself, that's just who you are, and that's who you're going to be. So, and you don't have to try and be something, putting on an act, because acts always end. The act will always end when they say, and cut. At some point in time, the act will end and it'll be all over. All right. So I encourage you, look, we're going into a new year. I encourage you to find a therapist on your things to do list for 2021. Find a therapist. Find a personal development coach. Find a coach. Find somebody who can help you to deal with you from the inside out. If you need, even in business, if you want to have better life in business, find a coach. Whatever it is that you need to add value to you, find a coach. If you need it for health and fitness, find a trainer. Find some help from somebody who can help you be better. All right. I need everybody hit that like button, hit the like button, as well as hit the subscribe button. Subscribe for more. There's more to come going into a new year. And I want you guys to be super successful in this year. Have an amazing day. Peace and love. Bye.